Smart 24, driving business.
In March 2021, the International Monetary Fund projected the economy to grow by 5.3% in the financial year, this current financial year 2022-2023. And now, Planning and Economic Development has projected the economy, that is Uganda, to grow by 6% in the upcoming financial year 2023-2024. Quite interesting prospects, right? Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Today. I'm Rona Habwe, together with Samla Anifa and Mumbele Pedson on this insight. And now to begin with, in our Business Today, where we have 4 segments and looking at the trending today, it's quite a report we didn't touch really well, and I think this is the best time to touch it, the AFCON 2027. The Pamoja bid representing Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania emerged victorious, securing the prestigious honor of hosting the 2027 AFCON. This announcement came shortly after CAF's executive committee meeting in Cairo, Egypt, where the winners were revealed. Now, this is an interesting story that in the light, of course, in the light and land of sports as a country, I believe this should be one of the projects that should put us on the map in Africa, right?
Yeah.
I think Pedson has more of this.
Yeah, you see, this is the first time we are hosting this AFCON thing. I want to say this is the first time. It has never happened.
Yeah.
It has never happened. And now, several studies show that whenever a nation hosts such a tournament like AFCON, its tourism sector it boosts the tourism sector, you get? And most of the people come to the country. The phenomenon is known as sports tourism, you get? Let me tell you, now, when Egypt hosted this same AFCON in 2019, the International Monetary Fund said that Egypt's tourism sector was boosted. The revenue linked to the tournament alone stood at $83 million.
Interesting.
You get?
Wow.
That was in 2019. So if we handle this AFCON very well, if we buy it on our hands, we can as well benefit from this.
Do we have a report in regards to this that can give us substantial, evidence if it could be played?
No, we should look at even the return on investment before we get to that. See, we are going to cash in $30 million us to co-host with Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, this East Africa, whatever. So we should look at now the infrastructure development first, because we don't have
yes, exactly.
The question is, are we ready? Is Uganda really ready for
By
this?
the time we reach there, I've been hearing the President FUFA, Engineer Moses Magogo, saying that by the time we're going to host this show, this AFCON thing in 2027, of course we'll be ready. Every country to have or to host AFCON must have 3 standard stadiums.
Okay.
You get? Now, both of us, we didn't have them. Even Tanzania did have. Even Kenya did have.
Nigeria too.
Now, that's why we came together. So if we come together, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, that means every country is going to have at least a minimum of 2 stadiums, having to have them ready to get ready for this AFCON. We can benefit, you guys. We can benefit. However, there are some other things that we need to work on to make sure that come up with a good.
I think we also need to bear in mind that 2026 is quite an interesting period for the country. We really know what is really happening in regards to politics. There is already some sort of instability.
Yeah.
So you can just, imagine a lot of money is going to be channeled through that aspect.
Exactly.
There is really a lot happening in regards to politics, and I think we need to bear it in mind. I just hope that by that time, the monies won't be diverted to some other things that are not as important, because otherwise we will have to host the games in Tanzania, yet we are the hosts.
Exactly. And I heard that most of the games are going to be actually played in Tanzania and Kenya, because we only have one stadium.
No, that's not the point.
See, this Nachivubo stadium, this is not to the side. How so beautiful. looks like.
They are working
It
on
is
it.
not.
They
And
are
I'm
working-
not.
But do we need one?
They are working on it.
For
What
such
you
a-
should know,
a tournament?
We have Nakivubo, we have Nambole. We also have. They are going to construct other stadiums. One in Lira, Fort Portal. I hear some.
And the other thing, and the other thing, government needs to take these things so seriously, because the sports sector is one of the most corrupt sectors we have here in the country. And now everyone, all the mafias are looking at that AFCON. Everyone's looking at that money which is coming in, and the money that is government is going to borrow. We are definitely going to borrow money for these stadiums too. I hear there is a stadium in Hoima that is going to be constructed. Money, everyone is looking at the money. Government should be strict on this one. I don't know what the president is going to use this time around. But corruption has really derailed this country, and it has really affected. And Uganda is not only going to host the AFCON. We have so many international events coming in. We need the infrastructure. We need the roads. We need better roads.
Perhaps this is the push that Uganda needed to have the infrastructure it needs. But let's have the insight to that in regards to that report, and then we can move further in regards to what's trending today.
Uganda is expected to pay $30 million as a hosting fee for the African Cup of Nations to the Confederation of African Football. On 27th September 2023, the Confederation of African Football awarded hosting rights for the 36th edition of the African Cup of Nations AFCON 2027 to Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania under the East African Joint Pamoja bid. The successful bid was received with delight and enthusiasm among Ugandans and the East African community in general, as this will be the first time the region will host the most prestigious football tournament on the continent since its inception in 1957.
Being negative, because when we announced that we are going to host AFCON, some Ugandans started being negative, and yet a tourism sector value chain benefits everyone. If you have 1 million tourists in Uganda, it means that every day each of those tourists is going to eat 2 eggs, is going to eat 2 sausages, is going to eat, the tomato seller is going to benefit, the one of crafts is going to benefit, the entire value chain will benefit.
The pull of this historic event, members of parliament have implored the government to use this opportunity to embark on enhancing the quality of sports facilities and general infrastructure developments to avoid possible international embarrassments.
First of all, I would like to actually congratulate all the people who were involved in making sure that we win the bid for bringing AFCON to Uganda. Of course, it's a joint East African thing, the Umoja tournament. And first and foremost, this will actually enhance the East African spirit, whereby people are going to be together, where we shall be able to show the rest of the world what East Africa has to offer. Yes, there are lots of benefits in terms of financial aspects. There are countries like Egypt, countries like Morocco, who have hosted this tournament more times.
Although Zambia and Burkina Faso had expressed interest, they did not formally submit their bid books, thus not participating in the final selection process. In an unexpected turn of events, Algeria, a former strong contender, withdrew from the race just 1 day before the announcement. The success of the Pamoja bid is attributed to robust investment and political support from all the 3 participating East African nations. Bedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, still in our segment of what's trending today, as the Parliament Trade and Tourism Committee concludes its investigations into the misappropriation of cooperatives funds, some of the affected persons have demanded for apprehension of some corrupt officials within the Ministry of Trade, most of which are civil servants who have made it a point to solicit money from the cooperative members in order for them to be able to receive their compensation. Parliament, through the Speaker, directed the Trade Committee to investigate this matter and to bring to book the corrupt officials. Before we get into what's really we need to talk about in regards to this report, let's have a look at this clip.
We wish that the cartels within the ministry, some of them are civil servants, actually propelled by civil servants. Yes. And some of them even outside the Ministry of Trade should be stopped and followed strictly. And the law should work. 2, that the cooperatives should be compensated in a clean way so that we kickstart and with the creation of this country. A cooperative movement is a very strong one. From 1913 up to now, over 100 years, 110 to be exact, the cooperative movement is still strong. The moment we empower the cooperatives, then the economy will be okay. I say this because I have an example of, these countries, the Western countries. The first time I went to London, I looked for Rochdale, which was established in 18, I'm saying 18, not 19, 1846. It is still there. It is still there. What is funny that we cannot do that kind of thing here?
All right, I do believe that Samla Hanifa has details this report, and if you may.
Thank you so much. So what has been happening is the Trade Committee has been investigating this matter, and it has been closed to the media. We've not been able, we just steal some and some. Though some of the affected persons, like the Honorable MP there you saw, is one of the affected persons. He's supposed to receive, actually for him, he's supposed to receive 3 billion. 3 billion, that is what Parliament approved for his cooperative. But when he went to Ministry of Trade to ask for this money, the people, the mafias, told him, you first put here 1 billion, and then you take the 2 billion. He refused. He said
the same thing that happened with the UNBS ED.
I don't know if it's really similar to this one, but
just like the word mafias.
Just
I don't know.
It is the mafias, the cartel. In fact,
mafias, do they exist anyway?
No, for him he calls them the cartel.
The cartels, okay.
It is the cartel in the Ministry of Trade that don't want people to receive their money. This is the money that was approved by Cabinet and then passed by Parliament. But then for the affected cooperatives to go and pick this money, the people the people behind this corruption, the cartels, okay, for him he names them the cartels, they tell you, first put here, if you're going to get a specific amount of money, you put half of that money aside for them, for you to receive that money. That is staggering. They brought
you
corruption.
Bribe them.
And all this was unearthed.
right?
Yeah.
That's where we're heading now. That's very bad.
You guys remember these cooperatives are used to be very powerful in the 90s, and some of the football clubs we have international, we have Real Madrid, Atletico, is it Bilbao, and Bayern Munich. All those football companies are owned by cooperatives. Cooperatives are very strong in other countries, but even here they used to be strong. Yeah, they were, and government wants to revive them to revamp. Yeah, but they passed money, and these cooperatives cannot receive this money.
A little fly told me that the fountain of honor, like they call him, doesn't want, even if you cry how, doesn't want those cooperatives revived. So,
which is quite absurd.
Yeah. But of course, in regards, maybe if I can give you a little preamble to the history of cooperatives, it should be known that these cooperatives were very strong in the early 90s. But the civil wars destroyed them. In developed countries, such cooperatives are so powerful to the extent of owning, like she mentioned, owning football clubs, e.g. Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, and Bayern Munich, and many more. Here, corruption has derailed every form of development. We have more.
You need to get 1 billion, then somebody comes out until you cough 700 million. we are not going to pay you. I've been a victim personally, and I speak on a record. I've been a victim where I had been verified for about 13.5, 13 billion. From around 30 billion were claimed, the committee in its own right thought they would compensate us 13 billion. Now, of the 13 billion, they flash, Parliament here votes the money for Uganda Cooperative Transport Union. 3 billion. But somebody is saying, of the 3 billion, you give me 1 billion. You see, demand, I'm talking as a chairperson. I've gone through this. I refused, certainly. This is why the committee called me to testify as to whether it is true. Yes, this is a terrible corruption scandal. Just too terrible. Just too terrible. So I had to testify, and I say, yes, I have even documentary evidence that somebody demanded from within the cartels of the ministry that they wanted the money, which I refused.
We sure hope that the monies go to the respective owners. Now, on to our second segment, that is the company news, and not quite interesting news to be specific. We are looking at the Equity Bank fraud, and a number of clients have raised concerns about a financial institution controversy, accusing Equity Bank Uganda on various social media platforms of fraudulently authorizing withdrawals from their accounts without their consent, of course. Equity Bank, it should be noted that it has released a statement regarding the alleged fraud on a customer account. Let's have a look at this. I think we do also have a press release statement just to be on the right side of the law, and I think our producer should do that. That's
but
justice.
I think before he puts the press release on whatever, we should first talk about this. We want to first apologize for having that clip, for not having voice. Yeah. But these are some of the social media clips that are running viral.
I think most people have seen them in
TikTok. If you go on TikTok, you find such video, people crying of their money withdrawn without their consent.
Even on
still,
X.
The company, that Equity Bank, has come out to release a press statement, which I think those guys are going, our producer is going to portray on screens and see what they're saying. But they're saying they're in control of this situation. Otherwise, they're investigating, they're finding out, could this be true? But still they are saying people shouldn't even start sharing their IDs, their, how do you call this card?
A NIN number.
The ATM cards and the passwords. Don't give you things to those people, to your friends or maybe your husband, your spouse, or your children. That's how people are getting hacked. That's how our accounts are being hacked in, and they get to steal our
How does
monies.
someone get my password? It is only known to me and the company. How does he get my password?
But remember,
I think it is only cautious for anyone that has deposits in account to be cautious. But I feel like the bank itself needs to take responsibility, of which they have tried, partially in regards to releasing that press release acknowledging the event. But this is not the first time such is happening with Equity Bank.
It is not.
Why? How come we are not having the same with Centenary Bank and the rest?
Exactly. And for a bank, really, it is very critical.
maybe it's because you are saying why other banks are not getting the same case.
Or maybe they are handled.
Maybe for
They are
them,
handled really well.
Maybe for them, as they have been having issues and they don't go viral, they handle them before they go viral. You get? But now at this moment, things have already. And this is not the first person, by the way. There are like 3-4 guys who are crying via social media platforms.
They don't know how to manage crisis, I think, because this gentleman here, I've seen it. It has been his video has been on TikTok for quite some time. Equity would have come out with a video, not just a statement. With a video, come and tell us, ask the customers. Me, I'm still worried. You people, if you people are not worried, me, I use equity, and I am not certain that my money is surely safe. And I cannot.
They say that our deposits are protected.
I have my cup.
They say our deposits are protected by Deposit Protection Fund, right?
Yeah,
So where they have where to start from.
But I want to tell you that since they have released their statement, I wish, Bright, you can play that press statement on screen so that people can see it.
Yeah,
Now they have released their press statement. At least be calm.
No.
Your money is safe,
It is
madam.
not enough. It is not enough.
I know your
The
boss pays you
CEO,
for
whoever, I don't know. This blogger, this famous blogger, is coming out to mention some of the banks, and then the man came out 2 months back. We were like,
Who's that person? Who's that?
this guy who is based in Turkey. What is Lumbuye?
Lumbuye.
You know Lumbuye. You don't usually listen to Lumbuye. But when we see things happening now, like the man losing 10M, and the other lady lost 5M, and the other one says, my man, I'm not seeing my account. I tried to put in my account. They're telling me the password is wrong. It has actually happened to me sometime. I tried to put in
It only happened when they are revamping their application.
Exactly.
And they're saying they're going to renew the applications, they're going to bring
They
new
should
ones.
come.
That's when it happens.
They should come out and,
They have the press statement. If
the press statement is not enough. It is just not enough. The damage has already been done, and people are already.
And if it's really bitter, but
you guys have
all this is not a joke, really.
You guys
and
have not seen the other video where
yes,
the bank is.
I think the bank.
completely
I think
empty.
the bank really needs to take accountability of whatever is happening, because this is not a joke. These are people's money, hard-earned money. I remember the other time someone said, "Don't touch on taxpayers' money."
Exactly.
It is you can end up, in a ditch. It is not good. It is not right practice to do such. You never know where people are getting money from.
Ugandans are still shocked about capital chicken, and now you bring this. We have not yet recovered.
I know this is happening.
Yes,
as we head for the festive season, we need money.
It is coming. It is happening very fast, and we need to be.
So when technology is growing, also fraudsters.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So they'll take advantage of any loophole for them to get.
I really want to commend Equity Bank has the most convenient system, especially if you want to withdraw. I think it doesn't serve people like us that have no financial control. Easy access, yeah.
Equity everywhere.
And
even if you go in the
yes.
deep where there is no whatever, you access your cash, man.
Yes, you access it,
So,
and also the thieves are watching. As you're accessing that
Yeah,
money,
I think-
the thieves are also taking note.
But
Pretty
how
much,
sure
yeah.
Are we, how sure are we that these guys who are running on TikTok, how sure are we that what they are saying is the truth?
It is the truth because in
Because of the
the
statement, because the bank
Equity
released a
statement, in Equity Bank's statement,
I think
they
Equity Bank-
acknowledge that yes,
Yeah.
their customer lost 10 million. And that is not small money. Me, I don't have it. Me, I have make a small money. But man, losing 10 million is too much.
Maybe that customer gave out his or her password or something, or maybe lost.
All these things can
I
easily
I
happen.
implore Equity Bank to come out, not just with a statement, but come out with
All
a
this-
press release.
yes.
Come and tell your people to
You guys
tell.
have VPN on your phone.
You go on TVs, you come here at Smart, you come at Smart and
have
tell
your
us
VPN.
and convince the customers that yes, we are safe.
Phones, yes? Do you
Turn
have
it down.
VPNs on your phones? The moment you leave your VPN on, then a fraudster can access your account. I'm telling you this. At least I talked to
Then
the
government needs to save us because it is government in the first place that why we're using
He told me
VPN.
there are very many ways where fraudsters can hack into your account.
Yes,
Before
we know.
prior-
First of all,
before
if you
this
have
incident,
VPN left on, it's on your phone and you just leave it on. That's a good profile way. That's
Why
a
are we
good way
using
where-
VPN in the
where
first place?
fraudster can access your
Why
account.
are we using
So we should
VPN?
always be cautious.
Why are we using VPN in the first place? Because government blocked Facebook. We cannot access Facebook without VPN. So government, this goes back to you. Please save us from this fraud.
I think this is a conversation that really requires bigger, maybe perhaps expert to give us a detailed insight. I think there is really so much we need to learn in regards to this scam that is happening, especially with this particular bank. It could even happen with any other. Perhaps it's not being brought to light that Ugandans need to know. But I promise that we're going to be having an expert analysis in regards to this because this is consecutive. First Capital Kitchen, then Equity Bank. We should be having a guest coming up soon in regards to giving us an insight, what we need to do, what could have happened as the company tightens its convenience to serve all the customers, even the low end. It should also tighten its security so that people can be relaxed, can sit easy, relax knowing that their monies are safe. But for now, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back with the CEO's insight and the product profile still on our show Business Today. Stay tuned.
Smart 24, driving business.
Shop with MTN Momo and get cash back every week. It's free of charge.
Wano nno tuli Bukoto era lero we tugenda ogaba pichipichi yaffe eri omwanguzi waffe wano we tuzze.
I'm so excited and I'm sure even all the people, all the staff at Kwaliwath, they're all excited. We thank you very, very much.
Myaka 25 nga MTN ewereza naye nga buli week tugaba pichipichi 5.
Very, very excited. I'm excited about MTN giving back to its customers. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, MTN. The fact that we have won really shows that people like Mama. Their services are really nice. MTN, your services are okay. The network is good. We are satisfied.
Chikola sense ne?
Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Say goodbye to paperwork and travel costs. Now every MTN customer can register to invest in securities anytime and anywhere with Zabu in a few simple steps. Step 1. Dial *292#. Step 2. Select option 1. Register with Zabu. Step 3. Enter your full names. Step 4. Enter your national identification number. Step 5. Enter your national identification card number. In 24 hours, you will receive an SMS confirming your registration. Congratulations, you are now ready to invest. Smart 24, driving business.
You're still watching Business Today, and if you just joined us, we just concluded the 2 segments. That is what is trending today, and of course the company news, where we highlighted what's happening with Equity Bank, and of course with what's trending today, we talked about cooperatives and also the AFCON 27. Now, in our CEO's Insight, I would like to bring us to speed to what happened at the official close of the UMA International Trade Fair, where the Minister of Trade, that is Honorable Harriet Ntabazi, during the closing ceremony of the UMA International Trade Fair, marked the end of a week-long showcase of diverse goods and services. This State Minister of Trade unveiled a promising outlook for manufacturers. access to a vast market in DRC. However, amidst all this optimistic backdrop, the minister also sounded a cautionary note as she raised concerns about the present issue of counterfeits, which threatens to undermine the growth of trade and commerce in the country as well as the region. Now, before we even get to the DRC market that has been an issue, I know we have already been trading with DRC, but the issue of counterfeits, we are losing billions of money due to counterfeits. I hear now counterfeits are even in toothpaste. The biggest counterfeits we have had, in cigarettes and alcohol, and I think yes, and URA is losing quite a chunk of taxes due to counterfeits. So of course, at this UMA trade fair, that is one of the pressing issues that the minister touched on, and I think we need more stringent measures to curb this, because just like corruption, we have failed to curb this, and we're losing money, billions of money.
I remember there's a bill on counterfeit that was introduced. I don't know if it was passed by Parliament yet, but I'm sure it is somewhere. It is somewhere. Yes, of course, we have an issue of counterfeit products in the country, but how do they even enter the country? How do
Perhaps they're even manufactured here.
Who is supposed? Okay, yes, they are. But some are manufactured here. But who is entitled? Who is mandated to protect Ugandans from counterfeit products? Isn't it UNBS? Don't they have that body? Because they are the ones in charge of checking standard products.
I believe UNBS could be doing their role very well.
Not very well, at least, because we wouldn't have.
I want to believe so because they are here with us and they've been there. But don't forget that we also have black market. We also have porous what?
Porous borders, yeah.
I come from Kasese, Mpondo, where that's
yeah.
part of my area. I'm telling you, there's some products that you find them in the Ugandan market in Mpondo there, even when they were not authorized at the immigration office. So the biggest, those borders are porous.
Yes.
There's black market. So those products, if you find them here, I think we shouldn't put the whole blame to UNBS, though they're also having some problems somewhere.
And
but still,
I remember when they were in Parliament,
I don't think it's
and they asked them.
Yes, there is a whole Ministry of Trade that I believe there is a statutory body under it that is made for counterfeits. URA is made to collect. It has a target to meet, and to meet that it needs to curb those counterfeits because people are evading taxes through that. I believe that URSB needs to certify some of these companies that are manufacturing without the right to. There are lots other.
I remember when they asked the Minister for Trade about the counterfeit products, the fake products are on the Ugandan market. He stressed out that UNBS, because he's the one in charge. It was looking very funny during the committee session. They asked him, why do we have counterfeit products on the market? He said, perhaps UNBS is not doing their job. And when they asked UNBS, why do we have the counterfeit products? UNBS said they are not. They have limited offices in the country. They are not everywhere in the country, and which is true, by the way. UNBS is not so old into this thing. I don't know how many years they are, but they are not so. They have not been there for a long time, and they are not distributed everywhere in the country. So that is also an issue. And the money that they are given, of course, the budget is limited everywhere, and the budget cuts have affected all sectors of the country. But they are limited. They are not like you. Actually, URA is everywhere because it has to. It has to be at the border and wherever. But UNBS's offices, there are very few offices in the country, and most of these products get in
stop border points at least.
Last time when I was having a one-on-one conversation with Dr. Livingston Eburo before he was expelled from office, he mentioned it. He said they lack money.
Yeah.
There's no money to have offices or branches in different districts or in different border points.
Yeah,
and
different border points.
The biggest problems they are facing. Okay? So that is standard.
And due to lack of money, I think that's why these these systems are being compromised, they get into the corruption because they are getting little money, they don't have enough resources to check on these ones. They end up leaving these counterfeit products into the country.
And yet we are losing quite
and we are losing and then they pay
billions.
some little. So that is where I would
And
implore
I think even police has a hand in it. I remember there was a time, I think early last year, when they were launching a report about counterfeits and substandard goods, and then the police, I think there is a whole
the unit.
Yes, that's the word. A whole unit responsible for that.
Yeah.
So I think police, URSB, UNBS, and the government at large, and the Ministry of Trade really has a big role to play in regards to curbing this. But let's now look at this clip before we get deeper into this conversation.
Others from Ching were bringing in counterfeit, the Colgate, not Colgate, the toothpaste, not Colgate, surely, but the toothpaste. Some of it is counterfeit. The broken pipes, you'll find them. You put them into sewage, they have broken within no minute. The utensils, a glass within a minute it is broken. No. We need to do something credible. The shoes, before you leave the market, the shoe is already what? Off the leg. So we need to really do something and make sure that Uganda shines and everybody realizes.
Well, she also promised manufacturers a broader market of the DRC, like just I was talking with Hanifa and Pedson.
That's where my problem is. You see, if she promised market from Congo, how? I come from the area. I know the technicalities and whatever
bureaucracies
that are taking on place there. These people are still these Ugandans, us, to cross to Congo. We are also entitled to pay visa.
Yeah, pay visa.
You get?
Yeah.
She promised us that she's going to work on that, but up to date, it is still standing. You get? So that's the biggest problem now. Congolese and Ugandans on the border, I don't know what's wrong. They don't connect.
Is it that bad?
Let me tell you,
Get their
whenever you cross, I come from the area, maybe have never crossed there, but at least I know what's
happening.
Once you cross from Uganda to Congo, you just look different. And those guys will intimidate you. They have their local way of calling. If you do like this, they'll just know this is a Ugandan. Come. In their Lingala thing, which you don't even understand. They will intimidate you to the maximum. They will tell you, give me back this. There's no regulated forces or whatever authorities at that place.
Yet DRC now is...
If you tell me market, and yet Uganda...
But you see why she promised them that market is because if a country like Uganda, we should be looking at markets we can... That at least our economy is not... We must be bigger than, at least for Rwanda, I'm pretty much sure Burundi is the poorest, and DRC because of the political unrest there. But so we need to be tapping into such markets. We cannot now begin to want to compete with Kenya and Tanzania that are quite ahead of us. So I think the reason why she promised, and I believe, is because that is it's like our go-to people. That's why we should be exporting. And for most reasons, when DRC is under that political unrest and instability, they lack food. There is no production there, and then Uganda as an agriculture, I think DRC is one of the countries that even recently banned our maize.
Yeah. And by the way, our exports, much as there are some problems, but our exports have grown up. I have some data here. In 2022, during January, Uganda's exports to the Democratic Republic of the Congo jumped to $74.3 million compared to Kenya's $40 million.
Yeah, precisely.
So that means we are beating Kenya. We are exporting to Congo more than
Yes,
that is why Kenya,
because of the political relationship,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying
that is why those
for us to
countries,
have such relationships under our armpits.
that is why those countries are banning our exports, our maize, our beans, our whatever.
Because there is a competitive advantage.
And I don't understand this East African community, whatever. Does it just work on paper? Sisterhood? What is that thing really? Is it trying what? What is it trying? Sudan just banned our
policy,
our maize.
Let me look into the camera because you are not listening. I am saying EAC is trying, Rona.
In what
trying how?
But
it is trying in
politics.
Some of the East African community member states themselves are stubborn.
Now,
they don't trust each other.
Because I have interacted.
They don't trust each other.
If Congo is part of the EAC and is still charging
visa
to Ghana,
why?
And EAC has always told them, please stop that.
Let me give you.
They are refusing.
Let me give you a case scenario.
Why do you want EAC?
Let me give you a case scenario. Let me give you a case scenario on a sector that is quite different. I was interacting with Simon Kahero. Is it? No, it's not Simon Kahero. Something like that. He has over 20 years experience in the freight and forwarding industry, cargo and movement. He gave me an example which I will never forget. There was a time Kenya was blocking our goods and services, and there was a lot of conflict. The trade barriers were too much that the president himself had to go and have peaceful talks with the president then. And so then they came to a realization that, okay, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do in this regard. 1 week, not even 1 week, 3 days after the president left, factory settings. You get? Factory settings. They stopped everything that was coming in, and yet they had talked with a big guy in the government, and then to inquire that the police said that they didn't understand this. So you see, the kind of things that we're having here in Uganda is the same thing that is happening.
The bureaucracy.
Perhaps the bureaucracies and policies are not harmonized in the countries themselves. That you would rather and of course, at least we know what is happening with our milk. All of us, at least here, we know it's not just because it is fake. We know that it is a competitive advantage between the two countries and the president of the other end.
Yes.
But we need to understand that yes, you have said EAC is trying. The barriers have not stopped. The trade blocks have not stopped. There is so much conspiracy, competitiveness. I don't even understand why they're advocating for the African Continental Free Trade Zone area. If COMESA is not visible, if SADC is not visible, if the East African community is not visible.
Tanzania alone, you as a Ugandan, you cannot go and start trading in Tanzania. There's a case in court right now in the East African court. Ugandans, some of the Ugandan immigrants who were expelled from Tanzania, they have taken the case to court that why has Tanzania chased us? Tanzania has been in East Africa for a long time. At least we know Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. We don't trust each other. Why?
The relationship has kind of bolstered with the new president, at least, and especially being united with the East African pipeline project.
Perhaps that will change the situation.
In regards to energy development.
Someone told me for Kenya,
East African community country work on itself when it comes to quality. You get? We are
so that we don't have excuses.
Yes, so that there are no excuses. You get? Because if we start producing these agricultural products that have got aflatoxins, I'm telling you, you will lose market. In Tanzania, whether it is East African community, whatever, whether it's not, you'll just lose market.
I think let's just head into our next segment, which is the last one to be specific. That is a product profile, and in this regard, we are looking at clean cooking. Modern clean cooking services, in collaboration with the Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking, are championing clean cooking technologies with the electronic pressure cooker at the forefront, inclined with Uganda's battle against rampant biomass use, responsible for diseases and, of course, climate change. Changes persist, though. Limited market development, lack of awareness, and the higher cost of clean cooking technologies are the hurdles to overcome. The transition to cleaner cooking hinges on a partnership between government and private sector. Initiatives like ERA's cooking tariff and Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development hybrid scheme, that is the connection schemes, aim to boost electricity access by 80% by 2030, up from 46%, which is current. However, their success relies on the vital partnership. The vital partnership in this regard, we are looking at government and the private sector. And I think this is a conversation we really need to have because we are prepared, a kind of longer report, but let's just have it first.
Not fully developed and hence limited sales by members of UNAC who are promoting these technologies. We also have limited technical capacity among the members to install and undertake repair services. There is a very high cost of clean cooking technologies compared to traditional methods, and limited end-user financing of quality clean cooking technologies are also affecting uptake of these technologies.
Then subsidize the product. Currently, I think, currently ours is the lowest price product as 250,000. But on top of that, we have gone ahead to come up with other measures like PayCo, which is going to be initiated next year.
Now, clean cooking is helping people attain services at a relatively lower cost, and therefore, when money is saved, instead of using a lot of money on other sources of energy that are not clean but also costly, in a way you're also helping contribute to a reduction of poverty.
The World Bank's hybrid scheme and the innovative No-Pole Connection initiative, part of the Energy Scale-Up project, are set to revolutionize Uganda's electricity landscape. These ambitious projects aim to provide 1.5 million new connections, extending electricity coverage to an impressive 80% by 2030. When paired with Electricity Regulatory Authority's specialized cooking tariff, the electric pressure cookers market is poised for substantial growth. With these game-changing initiatives, the potential for cleaner, more efficient cooking and increased access to electricity becomes an exciting reality.
The equipment that you see there, your total budget of cooking will probably reduce by more than 50% if you exclusively use the electric pressure cooker compared to using charcoal. By the World Bank to the tune of over $600 million, and under that program specifically, connections are supposed to feed, like my colleague said, to a tune of a minimum of 1.5 million connections.
Well, that's pretty much it in regards to clean cooking. And just like I was telling my colleagues here, that the pressure cookers, electronic pressure cookers, are supposedly saving Ugandans a chunk of money, as they only need up to 300 shillings to be used as electricity. That's how much you spend in electricity. Remember, these same electric pressure cookers are helping Uganda combat the issue of climate change, as cutting down biomass, if they are incorporated in society, will reduce down on climate change, and then also they will also reduce the diseases that people are using in regards to the people are getting just because of using the firewood and the smoke and all that unhealthy stuff. So just take it as clean cooking solutions, but at what cost?
So, but brother, for example, me, I am a family man who cook every day.
Who cooks every day?
I'm a family man, just know that. Now, sometimes us where we use charcoal, and so if I switch to, it's called what? Pressure cooker.
Electronic pressure
compared to using charcoal.
Now, those are the challenges that are coming with that EPC.
But you guys, charcoal is expensive of late. I don't know if you've realized that.
And it is expensive.
They have made it so expensive to avoid, to prevent Ugandans from burning, from getting it. I think should be avoided, and electricity should be distributed to all Ugandans. Like if it uses just 300 shillings for, in terms of electricity, that is saving.
That is saving. So so you're just going to save that much.
Only that our local
of charcoal is.
If I buy charcoal now, now it's 2,000. There's no one for 1,000. If I buy charcoal for 2,000 and I use it to cook for, and it depends on what you cook, by the way. If you are cooking
for big families, they use beans. So they cook beans and meat. That you cannot use charcoal of 2,000 in a month. How much are you going to use? Ask yourself. And we're talking about clean energy. That is the main thing.
That is also, but that's also another
clean energy also comes at a cost. Ugandans need electricity. We have people in the villages. They have never seen any light. When they come to Kampala, they're like, oh my God, what is true.
But the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under its electricity scale-up project, is targeting 1.5 million connections by 2030. And even bringing it closer, the hybrid connection scheme is targeting quite a chunk of people just before we even get to 2030. So what we should be looking at is, like we mentioned earlier in the Ministry of Finance report, Ministry of Energy received about 423 billion for Ugandans access electricity.
It is one of the ministries that receives
that is the money that should be accounted
of money,
for. At least there is money that has been sent in regards to that.
Yeah, they should distribute. Ugandans are crying out loud, and people from people from the West Nile. When you talk about electricity, they just want to fight. The MPs, I've seen them in Parliament. They just want to get up and beat up the minister.
And when they hear that they are selling electricity,
it happened. Actually, it even happened yesterday. The Honorable Ruth Nakabira was there, and she apologized. I know this has taken long to get West Nile on the grid. It is too much. Those guys are crying out loud. They don't have
West Nile is not. At least they are not.
It is not on the grid.
Maybe it's not just on the off-grid. Some parts of the community. Oh, that's
these guys. Ever since I started covering Parliament, these guys have been crying out. Whenever you bring the energy issue, they get up. Those guys are tough.
The biggest electricity access is in the urban areas, especially Kampala. At least from the statistics we have from World Bank, currently the connection of electricity is at 46%. Very sorry for the people that don't have electricity.
Yeah, but still 46% is still low.
Not even 50.
Very low, you people, very low.
But the plan in Kampala, is by 2030.
We wouldn't be having these blackouts 80%. All the time with the electricity that we have in the country. So, we even sell it to Rwanda, to Kenya, whatever.
So the adoption of these EPCs, or the electronic pressure cookers, to work, first of all, they are crying that they have no awareness. Secondly, they are saying that the market is not developed at all because of how expensive they are, and you cannot blame them because
how much are they?
I've told you the cheapest is 250.
Oh.
And the maximum you can go is 500 shillings.
If you buy it at 250 or whatever expensively, when you're going to save for the rest
it is still expensive. Go away. But 250. 250. No, it should be at least 80. Put it at 100. Put it.
100. Do you know how big that pressure cooker is?
Yes, we have the.
And how many meals
these non-electricity whatever are 80,000. Why should
those are fake? They can't last.
They are not fake.
They are counterfeits.
Our parents have been using these pressure cookers not for electricity though.
Just buy it, put it there. Then you go.
They're telling you are only using 300 shillings.
The cooking costs. Of course, you'll be saving for a good time, for a good
you
time.
Guys, you
what
guys.
Do you use at home?
250.
What do you use? Do you use charcoal? Oh.
Me, I use gas.
That is also clean energy.
Yeah, it's clean energy.
So if you compare gas and gas, the cylinder itself, and then the sigini, which one is expensive to buy?
Okay, to me,
the gas is expensive.
To me, no. To me, I find charcoal very expensive. Actually, you're buying a sack of charcoal.
It is at the mindset. The people.
It is the mindset. But charcoal is expensive compared to gas.
And of course, we are also traditional. You are a traditional society. If you go in the villages and you tell someone, I'm bringing you a solution, they even be scared of it.
They'll be. First of all, people fear gas.
They are
biased
so there's
about.
There's a lot of work to do in regards to mindset change. Even before they cry over
you don't blame these people. These people are biased when they see news of fire. Some gas cylinder caught fire and people died. Those are hazards, of course. Even the charcoal can cause an accident and people die. But when you talk about electricity, people even fear electricity. I fear. Like you find such responses, yet you are saving, and of course you are saving your life. This charcoal, the smoke that comes out of the charcoal is not really healthy, and if you don't have where to cook from, that
and
is so open.
And it's the biggest contributor of emissions.
The carbon dioxide that comes out of it. There's a scenario. There's a scenario. It happened at home, not at home. My sister was pregnant. One of my sisters was pregnant and the other one was okay. They just slept and left some little charcoal, like on the sigiri somewhere in the corner of the house. They almost died. There were two in the house. They almost died because they couldn't breathe. They woke up and
that's very possible.
And they called us in the middle of the night that we almost died. I feared charcoal then. It is
we've come to the end of our show today, Business Today. You that has been tuned in, thank you so much for having joined us this evening. I'm Rana Habwan. Maybe perhaps to give just a second to Petson and Samra to give us what our viewers should expect for the next edition.
We are going to bring more. Another thing, by the way, we should mind about gender balance. I'm the only man here. I don't know why.
Now you're asking us.
I'm going to write a story. About gender balance.
That is a story for another day.
Thank you to the viewers and to our viewers out there. Those who have companies, you can come to Smart. You can profile your product.
That's interesting.
Please come. Please bring in your products. Keep bringing the products. We can give them better profiles. And we keep giving you the trending news as they come in. Also the informative news. Next week, rather on Friday, expect some discussions to do with giving birth control pills to 15-year-olds. It has made rounds, and of course we shall bring you that story in detail. We have gathered you that information, and we shall relieve it.
She has broken it down, and of course our CEOs that are watching our show, we just want to indulge you to come. You would want to be part of this, big three show. And of course, our companies that would like to profile their products, we are here for you. As always, thank you so much for having joined us. I'm Rana Habwe. Good evening.